Hey guys, Matt here. Well, this is going to be a video, man, how things just seem to snowball. I tell you what. This is going to be a little video, kind of, well, I've never made a video like this before. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, I knew. It's going to be a call-out video. I'm going to call somebody out on YouTube. This is as a result of the video I did on the whole vaccination thing and all that, which was another video on, why it's important to stay, to let yourself get sick and blah, 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 whatever. Watch those videos if you don't know what those videos are about. Essentially what this boils down to is, I made a video talking about how, do your own research, make your own decisions when it comes to vaccines and your kids and all that stuff, and quoted a few studies and gave some information out there on different studies from the Journal of Virology and how these studies have shown that sometimes vaccinations don't always work or aren't always the safest thing, simple stuff like that, and encourage people to do their own research and make their own decisions about it, especially for the sake of their kids. Anyway, this guy who I've had dealings with in the past left a comment. I will briefly explain. First of all, the guy I'm calling out, it's probably in the title, is JohnnyX7078. Okay, this is a guy who about a year ago put out a video talking about how people who do things he does not agree with, whether I think he specifically said at the range and post certain types of YouTube videos involving guns, should have their Second Amendment rights taken away. And I took a lot of offense to that because that's bullshit. He has no right to say who can or cannot have Second Amendment rights, and in fact, no one can. That's the point of the Second Amendment. Not even the government can say who can or cannot have these rights. And it kind of really got my goat up, and it really pissed me off the way he acted about it. Very arrogant. Anyway, so we had dealings in the past, and we had conversations in comments before, and we'd basically come to the agreement, or I thought we had, that he didn't like me, I didn't like him, therefore, we just shouldn't talk. Well, a couple months ago, in the last few months, he subscribed to me again, I guess. I guess he was at one point, and then unsubscribed, and then he's resubscribed again. And I couldn't figure out why. He would leave comments on my videos, I just kind of ignore him. Well, he did it again on this last video I just put up. And I'm going to briefly kind of go over what the comments had to do with. I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this, but you can read them in the comments yourself. Basically, he left me a comment, said that there was very bad information being spread. It sounds like neither me or my relative know anything about immunology, vaccination, or clinical trials. And that I'm basically spreading information, thumbs down. He calls me full of shit and says that the clinical research studies were bullshit, didn't exist, and that he unsubbed. I came back and basically just explained that my family member is a clinical research lead and a nurse and blah, 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 all the stuff this person has done, and that I don't understand what the problem is. He comes back and says, "You're full of shit, get real, a nurse, yeah right, nurses don't run clinical trials, get a clue. And by the way, you don't know what I do for a living." Now that last part, I'm assuming, insinuates that he is in the medical field. I'm assuming that's what he's trying to insinuate by that statement. Second of all, as far as nurses running clinical trials, this was my response to him. I said, first off, I don't care what you do for a living, because I really don't. And second of all, nurses can run clinical trials. I know this because they do, guys, okay? It's a fact. It's just a fact. I did point out to him, I said, I do understand it's not always the norm, and that the research has to be signed off on by a doctor because it deals with patients. If it doesn't, there is some research out there, if they're not dealing directly with patients, it doesn't necessarily have to be signed off on by a doctor, but because of the patient contact, the doctor has to sign off on anything for liability issues, okay? But the nurse runs the trial, controls the dosages, has direct contact with the drug companies and the trial monitors, and the trial monitors obviously are the people who come in and monitor the trial for the drug company. They're kind of like a middleman, a contractor between the research center and the drug company. Okay, and I basically said, look, I'm sorry you don't like it. If that's too much for your ego to handle, so be it. He comes back with that I'm being childish and insecure, and I won't admit that I'm wrong, and he says that's the difference between us. He says he subscribes to the Journal of Virology, which is where I got this information from, or some of it anyway, and that I'm making stuff up. So I send him a link to the Journal of Virology where that study took place. I send it to him, and I send him a message. I said, look, I don't know why I'm taking the time to do this, but I sent you a link. And then I just went in and I said, look, I don't want to have this conversation. You and I both know we don't like each other. You know, I don't like your videos, yourself, or your attitude. So why are we even having this conversation? And basically, he comes back and doesn't acknowledge that the study that he was wrong about the study, but just says, I don't understand the study, and that he's commenting on my video because he cares enough about people spreading false, misleading medical information that it needs to be corrected. And then in the same sentence, he says, but he's not there to make things clear. He cares that people aren't putting correct information out, but he doesn't care enough to correct that information himself. So basically, here's the deal. I sent him a message back, and I'm going to say the same thing on this video. How about instead of being a dick, okay, you make a video. This is why I'm calling you out. Instead of being a dick, you make a video. First of all, tell me what it is you do, apparently, that makes you an expert, because I'm not doubting it. I would just like to know who's giving me this information. And two, explain to me how this is all wrong. Explain to me how the studies I've researched, okay, explain to me how the things that I get directly from people who are in research is somehow wrong. Explain this to me, because there's a lot of people who agree with me. So, in the interest of making things clear, in the interest of correcting false information, I would think you would want to put a video out there that would correct this, that would get a clear message out to people and present this in a clear, concise way that would, you know, make up for it, because I'm not an unreasonable person. I'm not an irrational person. I have the capacity to change my mind, bro. And if you present me with real information, I can change my mind. You know, I'm not a dumbass. I'm not stubborn. Okay, I have the capacity to say, hey, you know what? You're right. And if you're right, you're right. Cool. Okay. All I'm asking is that you don't be a dick and actually try to do something constructive. All right. That's what I'm telling you. So that's what I'm calling you out. Make a video. Please attach it as a video response to this, explaining how you're right. Explain to me about the vaccine situation. Explain to me about that study. Explain to me about the other studies out there. Explain to me how somehow a nurse can't be a researcher, and if they are, I guess they don't have any credibility. I don't understand that, but please explain this to me, okay? Because I want to see that. Now, I understand, guys, I don't make videos like this, and it comes off as very petty, and I admit it. So I don't even know if I'm really going to upload this, but if in the off chance that I do, I apologize. I know it comes off as petty and a rant, but really, quite honestly, I don't like this guy. He, in my opinion, is anti-American, anti-Second Amendment, and he's just a dick. He really is. And I know some of you guys subscribe to him. I think he's got a decent following on YouTube. You know, I've tried to watch some of his videos. He actually has some videos out there that have good information. But his attitude, the way he's just a dick. All right? No, I mean, that's all. That's as plainly as I can say it, guys. I don't want to put him down. I don't want to, dissuade anyone from subscribing to him. If you like him, cool, awesome. We don't all have to like the same people on YouTube, no doubt about that. But just, I'm putting it out there, guys. I want to call him out. I want to get a response to this, okay? I want him to give me the information. Tell me why you're an expert and what your expert opinion is. And if it sounds good and I do the research and it makes sense, I will actually change my mind, and I will admit that you got me to change my mind, even though you as a person I think are a dick. If you put out good information, I will agree with it. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully you'll make a video response to this. So other than that, everybody who watched, I appreciate you watching. And sorry for the diversion in my channel here for the last 24 hours. So we'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks.